So hello everyone, once again, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Juliettsstyleglam. If this is your first time on my channel, you are very welcome. And if you're already subscribed to my channel, thank you so much for being a part of this family. You guys, please. It's just doing somehow in my eye. Okay, so this is a topic that I've been, this has been disturbing me for a while. And I don't know, each time I say, okay, I'm going to talk about it, I just forget it. And I need to get it out there because it's, I think it's so wrong on every level. And the truth about it is this, I knew this, I've known this for a very, very long time, way before I even got married. So, it strikes me as really dumb when I see some women who do this, and seriously, it has to stop. Now, I'm going to be talking about cheating men, cheating husbands, okay? And wives who go blaming the side chick, or the side chick is to blame. Hello? Hello? Kilonsia? What is wrong with you, woman? Anyway, to start from the top. Now, suffice it to say that, well, we are in the dating game. I believe, or I think some of us have gone through the hands of a cheating partner. Okay? Now, that was then. We're not married. There's no problem. I have no issue. You can go away. I don't care. But now I'm talking about, married couples, Most people would say that, what you practice or what you do, in your single life is very, very, is going to be telling on what your married life will be. There's some truth there. But I don't want to dwell on that, because I believe that every one of us, we get to speak to our conscience and to ourselves as individuals and decide to be principled about certain forms of life that we live. So if you are a single guy out there and you think, it is cool AF to cheat on your partner, I'm sorry for you, because you ain't cool. Okay? So I'm just going to go back, to, my earlier, why women and their cheating partners. And then my issue actually goes to ladies who eventually, begin to look for the side chick as the problem. Hello, auntie. Hello, mommy. What's going on with you? Now, let me break it down from the beginning. If a man has enough respect for you as your husband, if a man respects you enough, respects your vows, respects the bed you lay on, respects everything that your marriage represents, he would not, I repeat, he would never, ever, ever give another woman his body, come what may. If a man understands and respects the sanctity of his marriage, no other human being apart from his wife is going to see him nude. This is the truth. So when you as a woman is in a marriage where a man is doing manti, hanti, the issue is not with the side chick. The issue is with your husband. I find it very insulting that a married woman goes and begins to attack a side chick. Why I'm saying this is because I have a story to tell. And this story happened in front of me. I'm not sure. I think I've said this. If I'm not wrong, I think I've told this story before. If I haven't told the story before, you guys should buckle up. Sit down. Drink Coke. If you have Coke, wine, malt, name it. Bring it, sit down, and listen. So, as I was saying, you have no business. You have absolutely no business with the side piece. The person you have an issue with is your darling husband, because eventually he's gonna say the truth. Now, moving on. Deal with him. Listen, I've I've seen a couple of, reality TVs, and that's one of the reasons I don't watch reality shows, because the level of violence in it, I'm sorry I'm sorry if it's the production that wants that. I'm sorry, but the level of violence in it, and most times it's always grown ass men who are, I mean, we're talking about men in their 50s who still behave like kids. I'm sorry. I mean, I think it's the dumbest thing ever. Who behave like children. I'm sorry. I can't do that. I'm no fit. Because what is that one? Why would you, as a woman, please, woman, listen to me, wifey, you hear me? Why would you, as a woman who you stood before God and man and said I do, why would you decide you want to come and begin to embarrass yourself with somebody you don't need to be doing that with? Because when you do that, listen to what is going on there. When you go and start fighting the side chick, start blaming her for everything, what you're doing is you're letting the man off the hook. You're just letting him off the hook. You're just making him understand that, don't worry, he's my husband. Don't worry, I'll just slap him to here, slap him there, and he's going to be fine. Tomorrow he'll go and do it again, knowing fully well that you're not going to disturb him. You're going to go and disturb the side chick. You're just getting him off the hook. You are rewarding nasty behavior. I'm sorry, it's the truth. You are rewarding a very dirty behavior. So why would you do that? Why would you blame? You're blaming a woman who is not in your home. Why would you do that? You're blaming a woman whom your husband, the money, they had earned money, you and your husband, you have been fighting for, struggle to get, is the money that your husband is using to go and he rent house for her. He do this one for her. He do this one for her. We've seen it all. We've seen it play out. We've seen Wendy Williams. We've seen it all play out. We've seen Rashida. We've seen it all playing out. Wendy Williams well, according to her, she wasn't in denial. She knew, but she stuck it out for a reason. And then when she felt that, okay, it was over, I don't need this shit anymore, here, that's the door, get out. Okay? So I could understand the reasons she did what she did, saying, because I read her interview and she said, things in the circle of, the child, that kind of thing. I get it. Most times parents are forced to think about the kids before they take certain decisions. And once the children are independent enough and, they feel they're matured enough, then they take the decision they've always wanted to take. So we've seen it all play out everywhere. We've seen it play out in different ways. And then, rather than you deal with the man, that is why I have respect for Harrison Ford's wife. Hey, that woman. I doff my hat for Harrison Ford's wife. She took him for every penny and dime he ever worked for. Yes, that's how you deal with bullshit. She got him for half of everything and more. That's how you deal with bullshit attitude. You deal with bullshit. You don't let bullshit continue. You don't reward bad behavior. A grown man who decides he wants to cheat on you, and then rather than you giving him some good, listen, there are so many ways. A lot of people always, surmise that divorce must always be the answer. Now, for me, in most cases, I always say divorce should be the last resort. It is only, please quote me anywhere, it is only in cases of domestic violence, man and woman, that I will tell you immediately, go and divorce, because it will not stop. It is only in cases of domestic violence. I'm not even making an excuse for it. Because the moment the man starts, he will continue. The day he will cry and beg you and say it's okay, it's okay, that day his hand will develop muscle he had never ever had before. Anytime you do any perere, that's how, this is the, I'm telling you guys, it's this, that's the only case. But I always say all the time that divorce should be the last resort. Okay? For a cheating spouse, whatever, because I always believe and I think that there are so many ways to kill a rat. You can use otapiapia. You can use rat trap. You can use cheese. You can use there's so many ways to kill rats. It's you to choose which one you want to use. That is the truth. So, and I always say this a lot, you know, when you've stayed in with a man, you know, unless you're not ready or you are living in nirvana, you should know the person you are with. A man who lies a lot, you should know. A man who cheats or who is lying through you will know. His mannerisms, everything you should know. And as you know that, that is also how you deal with situations. Okay? That's the same way you deal with the situation. Anyways, as I was saying, so when you now realize that there are so many ways to kill a rat, it's the same way you will realize that there are so many ways to deal with that man. And when I mean we women, listen, I keep on saying it a lot. Women, you have power. Hey, auntie, wifey, auntie, oh, see, you got power. Know your power. Know who you are as a woman. Know your power. So please, I'm begging you, anytime that you have a spouse who is mesco-jiving, just treat the bullshit. Do not give him excuses. Do not give excuses for a grown man. It's wrong. And then you begin to attack the side chick, fighting the side chick. You're just bringing yourself so low. You are just showing how much of a disrespect he gave to you, he showed to you. It's just that simple. You know, don't make excuses for him. And when it's recurrent, that is when you should know that you're doing something wrong. When your husband cheats on you recurrently, okay? Listen, when I mean that is what it means you're doing something wrong, I don't mean with yourself. I mean in the way you're handling the situation. That's what I mean, please. Don't get me wrong. That means the way you are handling the situation, the way you're going about it is wrong. You got to change your strategy. Now, let me go to the story I was going to tell you guys. I was doing my youth service. I'm sure I've said the story before, but I will quickly go through it. I was doing my youth service in Ekiti State. And while I was serving, I met, at the time, I was serving with the local government. Now, I met I happen to now have a friend who was friends with I think the council chairman or something, you know, one of those positions. Lo and behold, one beautiful Sunday, we went out for Sunday breakfast. There's this place in Ekiti where we used to go, in Ado Ekiti, we used to go for breakfast. It's like a buka. Me, I like eating buka. You cannot, if you want, the guy, if you want to, like, you know, impress me, please don't be carrying me to all those places that they have price. Just carry me to buka. I'm fine. Anyway, so he just took me. We went to this buka because the guy found, I told him that I don't eat all those. You know, he was like, okay. So Sundays we had this thing we used to do every Sunday. So Sundays we used to go to eat in this buka. They had, you know, pounded yam, you know, that kind of thing. And then we got down, and while we were there, you know, we had hardly finished eating. A call came. Start coming. This, that. Something went down. Okay. Something went down his friend, okay, because his friend happened to be married, he said his friend is threatening to divorce his wife. You know. So he was like, you know, he called me and said, listen, let's go. I was like, is everything okay? He's like, listen, something is, you know, up. So I went and we now got up, you know, we left. And then, now lo and behold, where we went to the hospital. And lo and behold, whom did I see in the hospital? I saw a woman in the hospital, battered and bruised. I was like, okay, shit just got real. You know, I didn't know exactly. They had already told me, you know, the story in a nutshell. So this lady just had twin babies via cesarean. Now what happened was that her husband had a side piece, and the side piece was benefiting largely from this man. Rented apartments, furnished, this, that, you know, the guy was, you know, the man was just doing, you know, houseboy for this girl, you know. But, you know, she was getting something out of it, he was getting something out of it. He liked the girl. Now, so when this happened, the friend of the wife happened to have seen her husband coming out of this side chick's house. That's why I said some friends are not to be kept. I will tell you why. And she now goes, have you finished eating? Now clear yourself out of that place quickly and go and prepare for bed. Whatever, but get yourself out of that place and move with your table mat, everything. And this lady, this her friend, now, you know, Mogbo Moya mode, comes and say, hey, right here, your husband is, Wahala starts. Starts marching off. She gets into her car with her friend. They march up to the side chick's house. She didn't ask her husband. She didn't wait for her husband to come back. Nothing. Now they got to the side chick's house and then they go, you are a bastard. And then they got to beating the girl. They beat the girl and then took the furniture the man used to furnish. She took everything, you know, beat the girl up. Now the girl now called a friend of hers, and the friend now said, see, and called the guy and said, see what's happening, you know. Now this man, remember, listen, I hope you guys are following. He's a married man. This married man now comes and goes not to his wife. He goes straight to the side chick, takes her to the hospital, puts her in the best hotel, in the best hospital room, pays her hospital bills, tells them that anything she wants she should be given, give her top-notch treatment, you know, this kind of thing. Then Oga now, after taking care of the girl, he now, even that day, he changed the girl's apartment. He moved her away from there, got her a bigger place. Meanwhile, listen, oh, the wife did this. She did not tell her husband. He now is retaliating. He now went, he closed off that place where the girl was, you know, went, picked her up another apartment, a bigger one, furnished it that day, so that, you know, made sure that everything was ready, so that by the time she's coming back, she will have a new place to enter. But boy, don't they think of to moving, no? Don't they think of to, you know, vacating house. Now he goes back home. Mind you, remember I said in the beginning that his wife just had twin babies. And then he goes back home. So, you know, he now goes back home. He calls his wife, said, come here. What did you do today? And she was like, what? Where did you go to today? Whom did you, you know, that kind of a thing. Thug life. Oh, this guy just starts on her. And she had twins via CS. And this guy descends on his wife. And he beats her black and blue. And the stitches of her cesarean operation opened up. He didn't care. He left. She called her friends and she said, he told her, I said, this marriage is over. He called her friends. She called his friends who came to her help, to her aid, put her up in the hospital. Then now what we were all doing was to rally. You know, what his friends were doing was to rally together, because the guy had left the family, his family home. So now his friends were now rallying to get him back. My dear brothers and sisters, it was hard. Because the guy was like, what gave her the impetus to attack the girl? Why didn't she talk to me? See, I am not excusing his behavior of beating her up and forgetting that, you know, it's his wife or you shouldn't hit a woman. He retaliated because this same woman beat up another person's child. Now, I'm not excusing anybody here. The person I have, I'm blaming first of all for drawing first blood is the wife. I'm blaming her. But what her husband did to her, I am not in support of it at all. Now, it was hard for his friends. You know how committee of friends, it was hard for his friends to get him, to even find out where he was and to get him to come back home. He had absconded. For him, the marriage was over. Now, the said woman who was in the hospital was now in a position of, please, help me beg my husband. I'm sorry. Please tell him I'm sorry. Do you see? Because she now found out, or she now heard that her husband was going to leave her, that he was going to leave her in the marriage. To tell you guys the truth, I was so pissed, because I was watching everything that was happening. My boyfriend at the time, he was like, say something now. And I was like, listen, I don't want to involve myself, but I can only tell you guys what you can do. And he was like, anything is welcome. I said, okay, right now this guy feels you guys are bombarding him, and because he knows that you guys are trying to get him back. So I think just tell everyone to stop calling him, all right? And then let him be for today. The next day, go call him. Just one person, designate only one person to call him. And that's ask him, tell him you want to see him. And then talk to him. Talk to him about the fact that this is his wife. Talk to him about the fact that he shouldn't have had and he shouldn't have had extramarital affairs, because that's the beginning of all this trouble. Tell him about the fact that this is the mother of his children. Let him understand the things that he is going to lose by leaving this marriage. He stands to lose more. He may go back to the side chick, but I promise you, the side chick does not want to marry him. She's using him for the money, and that's the truth. She's giving her money. She's enjoying it. She's a student. By the time everything is over, adios amigos, she's gone. So this was, long story short. So eventually, one of the committee of friends was able to get to him, and they talked to him, and they were able to talk some sense into him. But guess what annoyed me again? The woman now began to feel like, if this is like this, so if you want to have girlfriend, have girlfriend. I was like, hey, she, because of because she had been put in this loser's position. For me, I couldn't go further because I just didn't want to involve myself, being that I wasn't married at the time. So what am I saying? Most times when you do these things to the side chick, it turns out, or it could turn out backfiring on you, like in this case. Do you understand? The man could decide there and then, even if he had no intention of doing that, but he could then decide there and then that, okay, if that's the case, this thing, we pack it up, we go. And then you lose, your marriage to the person that you shouldn't even have lost it to in the first place, who is even going to still dump him and throw him out to the curb at the end of the day. So what I'm saying is, deal with the issue with the person, the guilty party. The guilty party is the wife or the husband who started cheating on you in the first place. Not the side chick or not the side bobo. It's none of that. The person you need to deal with is the man. Don't go fighting the side chick. Because most times, most men, I won't say that they are not smart, but it's very, very difficult for a man to really cover up his tracks when he's having an affair. A woman can cover up her tracks. That is well. Most guys, the tracks, when you cover your tracks, is obvious. What will always out you is maybe if the side chick gets pregnant. Things like will always out you, because men tend to get lost in the moment most times. you know. So what I'm saying in essence is, please, please, please respect yourself. Don't be doing that thing outside. Don't go attacking the side chick. Don't go exchanging or bantering with the side. Don't do that. Keep yourself and your respect intact. When you know what this is going on, you have proof that this is going on, you act strategically. We've seen a lot of movies that such things happened. Waiting to Exhale. We saw what happened in Waiting to Exhale. Angela Bassett and her husband. We've seen things like this play out even in the movies. You just clean the man out. And just, you know, it happens. It depends on how you want to handle it. You have no business with the side piece. Most times, the side piece don't even know that this man is married. He's lying to them. He's telling them that, oh, no, leave that. Most of them they lie to you. They will tell the side chick a bunch of crap that isn't true. Many of them tell them that, no, they're about to divorce their wives, that this, that one happen, and that one is happening. Many of them do that. Many of them will tell you, oh, this, that. Don't worry, she's just a stupid woman. She's just a this. Like our beautiful Fatoyibo, is this one, just because you want to, you know, pour something. What, for what? It's a weak man that does that. It's a man who is weak that does that. A man who cannot put his thing, who cannot leave it in his pants. I'm sorry. Why? What are you doing? Why do you have to badmouth? And listen, hey, you my husband, you cheat on me, and for you to be able to get the side piece, you badmouth me. Because that day we are going to iron it out. What? You know, so these are the things, these are the factors you have to consider. What did he tell her? We've seen the movie with Charlize Theron and I can't remember the title of the movie, where her husband was supposed to be cheating on her, and then she and the side piece, how many of them? There were 3 of them, happened to be, they got to understand what was going on and they became friends. And what did they do? They sliced the man. They sliced him. There's, you know, one slice there, bread. They sliced him like bread. That's what you should do. And this is just to tell us most times, or tell us women, that most times the people we're supposed to be fighting is not outside. It's in the house. The enemy we're supposed to be fighting most times is not outside. It's in the house. So I'm finishing this video on this note, and I'm going to tell you guys, please, 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 all you married women out there, you know, please, if you are in this situation, listen to this video and take advice from it. You have no business with the side chick. Face the husband who is face him. He is the one that should bear the brunt of whatever karma that you are ready to unleash. Because yes, you have the power to unleash anything you want to unleash. So on this note, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for being a part of today's video, you know, being a part of this family. And do not fail to like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. And not fail to also follow me on all my social media networks. It's all Juliet Style Glam except Twitter, which is Juliet Style. Hop on my blog. Yes, hop on my blog to see what I have for you. I blog every Wednesday. Sometimes it depends. If I have nothing, if I'm busy, it has to be the upper week. But it's every Wednesday. I have a new blog post on one fashion statement or the other. So until my next video, guys, see you. Bye. All through the night. You're my